The Earth's silent lover. He didn't set out to be a detective. He didn't want to be a whistleblower. He just wanted a date. But his chosen partner wasn't a person. It was the planet itself. This is the story of Dr. Eris Thorne, a man who embarked on one of the most unconventional, intimate projects imaginable, to court the Earth. To understand its moods, listen to its secrets, and feel its pulse in a way that spreadsheets and satellite images never could. Eris was a brilliant atmospheric scientist, but he had grown weary of the sterile detachment of modern science. He saw his colleagues dissecting the planet into 1,000,000 data points, losing the magnificent living whole in the process. He believed that to truly understand a system as complex and alive as our world, you couldn't just observe it from a distance. You had to immerse yourself in it, to form a relationship with it. So, he left his prestigious university post, cashed in his savings, and built a mobile lab he affectionately called the Observatory. This wasn't just a van with some computers. It was a sanctuary of science, a rolling testament to his mission. Inside, custom-built spectrometers, gas chromatographies, and acoustic sensors hummed with potential, all designed for one purpose: to capture the planet's most subtle whispers. His dates were expeditions to the Earth's most remote and revealing locations. He wasn't a tourist, he was a suitor. In the heart of the Amazon, he wouldn't just measure humidity. He would spend weeks mapping the breadth of the jungle, analyzing the complex symphony of volatile organic compounds released by the trees with every sunrise. He saw it as the planet's morning sigh. In the desolate expanse of the Atacama Desert, he used ultra-sensitive microphones buried deep in the sand to listen to the faint seismic hums, which he called the Earth's dreaming. He believed these vibrations were the deep subconscious thoughts of the planetary organism. He charted the flow of the jet stream not as a weather pattern, but as the circulatory system of a living being. His notebooks were a bizarre and beautiful fusion of hard data and poetic observation. Entries would read, "Atmospheric pressure dropped 2 millibars today. The air feels melancholic, heavy with unshed rain. Particulate count is low. She is breathing cleanly." It was, by all accounts, a love affair. For the first 2 years, his relationship with the Earth was idyllic. His data painted a portrait of a planet that was resilient, powerful, and breathtakingly complex. He collected air samples from the pristine heights of the Himalayas that were so clean, his instruments struggled to find a baseline. He recorded the magnetic field over the Pacific Ocean and saw in its fluctuations a rhythm as steady and reassuring as a heartbeat. He was building a library of the Earth's vital signs, a comprehensive medical chart of a healthy, thriving world. He felt he was getting closer to its essence, understanding its language. He learned to predict the smell of rain on dry Earth by the subtle shift in airborne ions hours beforehand. He could distinguish the atmospheric signature of a pine forest from a eucalyptus grove from miles away. He was in a state of profound connection, a man who had successfully tuned his entire being to the frequency of the planet. This was his honeymoon phase, a period of pure discovery and wonder. The data was clean, the patterns were natural, and the story they told was one of majestic, albeit fragile beauty. But every relationship has its moments of doubt. For Eris, the first flicker of unease came on a remote archipelago in the South Pacific, thousands of miles from any significant industrial activity. He was calibrating a new high-resolution atmospheric particle counter, an instrument of his own design, sensitive enough to detect individual molecules. As he ran the baseline tests against the supposedly immaculate ocean air, a ghost appeared in the data. It was a tiny, persistent signal, a molecular signature he had never seen before. It was a complex hydrocarbon, but it didn't match any known natural compound or common pollutant. It was structured with a bizarre, almost artificial-looking symmetry. He dismissed it. A contaminant in the sensor? A bizarre local phenomenon, perhaps from volcanic outgassing? He cleaned his equipment meticulously, ran the tests again. The ghost remained. It was faint, a whisper in a hurricane of data, but it was undeniably there. He logged it as an anomaly, a curiosity to be investigated later, and tried to forget about it. But the whisper followed him. 6 months later, while camped on the Greenland ice sheet, it appeared again. Same structure, same faint but persistent signal. 2 locations, separated by half a world with no conceivable connection. It was like hearing the same impossible, out-of-place word whispered in 2 completely different languages. The beautiful, simple love story he was writing about the Earth was about to get complicated. A seed of suspicion had been planted. His intimate dates with the planet had revealed something unexpected, something that didn't belong. And for the first time, Eris felt a chill that had nothing to do with the Arctic air. The Earth, his silent lover, seemed to be trying to tell him a secret. A dark one.